ratio and proportion. So guys, we are done with 1 hour of our session. We are left with 1 hour, and now I need to complete ratio, proportion, as well as time and work. Now, when it comes to ratio and proportion, this is nothing but very much similar to percentage, right? We can convert any percentage to a ratio. We can convert any percentage to a ratio, and we can also do the reverse. We can convert any ratio to a percentage, right? So first of all, I would like to ask you how to convert a percentage into a ratio. How to convert a percentage to a ratio, guys? Shivam, there will not be any loss because it's already given in the question that here he's going to get a profit, and moreover he bought 6 items while he sold only 5 items, so there definitely no loss, no? Okay, acha guys, I just missed out one simple thing. Hanish and Khushbu, you are correct. Abhishek, you are correct. Shubham is asking that, sir, if price and items both were different, if price and items both were different. So I missed out that part actually. I'll just come in towards it. Now in type 1, we saw that number of items needs to be same and price is different. Second scenario, we saw that number of items is different and price is same. So the last scenario which is left, is the number of items are different and the prices are also different. So, okay. So it's like you bought A quantities for rupees B, you bought A quantities for rupees B, while you sold C quantities for rupees D. Okay. So there are 4 different values. You bought A items while you sold C items. Your buying price is rupees B while your selling price is rupees D. So in this scenario, what you can do is you can try to convert this to either, you can try to convert this to type 1, or you can try to convert it to type 2. Okay. So you can try to convert, you can try to make the prices same, or you can try to make the number of items same. How will you do it? You will do it with the help of LCM method. Okay. So is this clear? Okay, thank you. So moving ahead, I asked you how to convert a percentage to a ratio. So I got the response that we will divide it by 100 and we get the ratio, right? So if we, so you should be able to correlate all the questions of ratios with your concepts learned in percentages. Okay. Now, why do we use ratio? We use ratios to make comparison between 2 items of similar kind. When we express ratios in words, we use the word to, right? We say that the ratio of something to something else. And the ratio of 2 quantities A and B of the same units is nothing but the fraction A by B, where B is not equal to 0. Because if in a fraction, if anything is 0 in the denominator, then that is not defined. Anything divided by 0 is not defined in mathematics. And the last point is saying that multiplying or dividing each term by the same non-zero number will give an equal ratio. So for example, the ratio 2 by 4 is equal to the ratio 1 by 2. Okay, so these are some simple points of ratios. Most of you must be knowing this. So there are some different types of ratios, okay, which you might not have heard before. And in some of the tests, they simply ask you these things. So the very first type is duplicate ratio. What is duplicate ratio? It is the ratio of squares of 2 numbers. Example, let's say the initial ratio is given as x by y. Initial ratio is given as x by y. And you are asked to find out the duplicate ratio of x by y. So you will simply go for x square by y square. You will simply go for x square by y square. It is simply squaring of the ratio. So if the initial ratio is given as 3 by 4, the duplicate ratio of 3 by 4 will be 3 square by 4 square, 9 by 16. Okay. The second type of ratio is sub-duplicate ratio. Sub-duplicate ratio, try to relate with duplicate. In duplicate ratio, we were finding the square of the ratio. In some duplicate, we will try to find out the square root of the two numbers, the square root of the ratio. So now, let's say the initial ratio was given as 49 by 64. The initial ratio was given as 49 by 64. And the question is asking you to find out the sub-duplicate ratio of 49 by 64. So you simply need to go for root over 49 by 64. Root over 49 will give you 7. Root over 64 will give you 8. So the sub-duplicate ratio of 49 by 64 will be nothing but 7 by 8. Okay. And similarly, we have triplicate ratio, which is cubing of the numbers, cubing of the ratio. And we have sub-triplicate ratio, which is taking cube roots of the initial ratio. Okay. So you can remember it in this way. Duplicate means squaring. Sub-duplicate means taking square roots. Triplicate means cubing. Sub-triplicate means taking the cube roots. Okay. And then we have compound ratio. Compound ratio, the definition says that it is the ratio of the product of first numbers. It is the ratio of product of first terms in every ratio to that of the product of second term in every ratio. It might be difficult for you to understand the statement, the definition. So simply look at the example. What is the example saying? That if we have to find out the compound ratio of a by x, b by y, and c by z. So we have three different ratios with us. We have a by x first ratio, second ratio is b by y, and the third ratio is c by z. So the compound ratio will be multiplication of all the numerators. So the numerator of first ratio is a, the numerator of second ratio is b, the numerator of third ratio is c. So that multiplication will be ABC, and the denominator will come from multiplying the denominators of all the ratios. So that will be x by z, x, y, z. Okay. So are you clear with all these 5 different types of ratios, guys? Is there anyone who's having any problem? Can I proceed further? Shivam, what is the importance of this? See, in the questions that you come across aptitude test, they might simply ask you these questions. Okay. I have personally seen that in one exam, they simply asked the triplicate ratio of 3 by 5. The triplicate ratio of 3 by 5. So if someone knew that triplicate is nothing but cubing of the ratio, so it would have been very easy. Okay. So a question is there for you. If possible, try to solve it logically. Try not to use your pen and paper. Yes, I'm getting the responses now. All of you are correct. Okay, great. Thank you for your responses. Now let's try to look it logically. Okay, if I would have got this question, what would have been my approach? So the question is saying that a sum of money is to be distributed among A, B, C, D, 4 people in the ratio of
5 is to 2 is to 4 is to 3. Okay, so I'll stop here. I will not read the question further. First, I will try to break this information in the usual form. Okay, so 5 is to 2 is to 4 is to 3. What I will do is, it means I'll say that 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 becomes how much? 7, 11, 14. So I will have to break. So in my mind, it means that first of all, that sum of money will be broken into 14 equal pieces, 14 equal parts, sorry. I'll break that, or I'll divide that sum of money into 14 equal parts. Out of those 14 equal parts, 5 parts will go to A, 2 parts will go to B, 4 parts will go to C, and 3 parts will go to D, right? This is what we mean by 5 is to 2 is to 4 is to 3. After this division, we should not be left with any remaining amount. So then the next statement says that C gets 100 rupees more than D. So guys, we divided the total amount, the total sum of money into 14 parts, right? Out of which C got 4 parts and D got 3 parts. C got 4 parts, D got 3 parts. So how much more? C got 1 part more than D, right? And according to the question, C gets 1000 rupees more than D. C gets 1000 rupees more than D. And according to my calculation, according to my assumption, C got 1 part more than D. So can I say that 1 part is corresponding to 1000 rupees here? 1 part is corresponding to 1000 rupees here. And if 1 part is corresponding to 1000 rupees, then most of you have done the question wrong. Most of you have done the question correct. The answer is option C. Okay, so 1 part is corresponding to 1000 rupees and we need to find out B's share. According to the ratio for B is 2. It means B is going to get 2 parts, and if B is going to get 2 parts where 1 part is corresponding to 1000 rupees, so 2 parts will correspond to 2000 rupees. Okay, so what were the steps here? The first step was adding the ratios. 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3, it makes 14. So I can say that the entire sum of money is divided into 14 equal parts, where A will get 5 parts, B will get 2 parts, C will get 4 parts, and D will get 3 parts respectively. And according to the question, C gets 1000 rupees more than D. So if I compare this with parts, C is getting 4 while D is getting 3 parts. So C is getting 1 part more and C is getting 1000 rupees more. So each part is corresponding to 1000 rupees. So I can say that B's share out here will be 2000 rupees. And just in case the question was to find out the entire sum of money, the entire sum of money was 14 parts, which would have corresponded to an actual value of 14,000 rupees. Okay. Yeah, great, Prashant and Shubham. 14,000 would have been the answer if the question was to find out the entire sum of money. Okay. Okay, next question for you guys. Try to solve this question. I'll give you 1 minute. This might take slightly more time than the previous one. Great, I'm getting good responses. You guys are quite fast, I must admit. Okay, so guys, uh, do you want to learn a method out here to solve this question without pen and paper? Do you want to know how to solve this question without pen and paper? Okay, so pay attention, because I believe most of you would have done this question by assuming X. Okay, now initially the mixture contained alcohol and water in some ratio. Okay, the ratio is not that important for now. And then what happened? Then 8 liters of water was added. So initially the mixture was containing alcohol and water, and now they have added water to it. Okay, so if can I say that the initial quantity of alcohol and the final quantity of alcohol is the same? The change is only in the quantity of water. Can I say this? Yes, Suramya, correct. Initially, the mixture was having alcohol and water in some ratio. It means there was some quantity of alcohol and there was some quantity of water. And to this mixture, 8 liters of water is added. Okay, 8 liters of 8 liters of water is added. So quantity of alcohol has not changed. And if you see, even the ratio corresponding to the alcohol has not changed. Initially in the ratio 7:5, 7 parts was alcohol, 5 parts was water. In the new ratio 7, this ratio value 7 is again corresponding to alcohol, and this 9 is corresponding to water, right? So when you identify this thing in the question, that the alcohol ratio value is the same, alcohol's ratio value is same in the two ratios, and the change is only in the ratio value of water, while also according to the question the change is there in the actual quantity of water. So if you are able to identify this thing, then it will become very easy, because this 8 liters of change came because of the ratio change. Initially the ratio was 5, now the ratio is 9. So I can say that the ratio change here is of 4. And because of this ratio change of 4, we are having an actual change of 8 liters. Okay, because of this ratio change of 4, we are having an actual change of 8 liters. So I can say that because of a ratio 1, there will be an actual change of 2 liters. Is this clear till this part? Are you clear with this part? How we got 4 ratio corresponding to 8 liters? Only then I can proceed further. Great, thank you for your responses. So when you have identified that the quantity of alcohol in the initial and the final mixture is same, and the ratio value of alcohol is also same in the two ratios, then you can simply compare the actual change of water with the ratio change of water. Okay, so actual change is 8, ratio change is 4. So because of this ratio value of 4, we are having an actual amount of 8 liters. Now the question was to find out the quantity of alcohol. Now what is the ratio for alcohol? The ratio for alcohol is 7. Now we just find out that a ratio of 4 corresponds to an actual value of 8 liters. It means a ratio of 1 will correspond to an actual quantity of 2 liters. And if a ratio of 1 corresponds to an actual quantity of 2 liters, then ratio 7 of alcohol will correspond to quantity of 7 into 2, 14 liters. Right? Is this part clear? Okay, Shivam. See, I'll repeat this part again. The reason why you need to listen it properly is because in the solution, they have given the solution by taking X. Okay, but while looking in the question, I figured out how to solve this without pen and paper. So the initial ratio is 7:5, the final ratio is 7:9. So the alcohol has not changed, only the quantity of water has changed. Okay, so since the water has changed and the ratio value of alcohol is same, so we can say that the ratio change from 5 to 9. The ratio change from 5 to 9 came because of the increase of 8 liters of water. So this ratio value of 4 is corresponding to an actual change of 8 liters. So I can say that ratio change of 1. For every ratio change of 1, there will be an actual change of 2 liters. For every ratio change of 1, there will be an actual change of 2 liters. And we need to find out the quantity of alcohol. What is the ratio of alcohol here? Ratio value corresponding to alcohol. The ratio value corresponding to alcohol is 7. So ratio value 7 will correspond to an actual quantity of 7 into 2, 14. Okay. So now, is it clear? Is your doubt clear? Okay, I'll show you the solution with X. So guys, look into the solution. They have assumed since the initial ratio was given as 7 is to 5. So they have assumed the quantity of milk and water as 7x and 5x. Okay. Now, according to the question, water increased by 8 liters. So initially we had 5x liters of water, but now we will have 5x plus 8. And the new ratio is 7:9. So they have made this equation. 7x divided by 5x plus 8 is equal to 7:9. Cross multiply, you will get the value of x as 2. And so the quantity of alcohol according to the first step is 7x. So in the third step, after getting the value of x, the quantity of alcohol becomes 7 into 2, 14 liters. Clear? Okay. So I hope you must have learned